Hey guys, so I'm back here with the myth and mindset lesson. Before we get into some of these misconceptions, I want us to talk about the virtues of virtual training. Say that 3 times fast. All right, so why virtual training? The first one is you can stop trading your time for money and you can start scaling up. So as we know, the more time we spend giving those trainings, delivering those trainings, it's less time that we have to be spending to do others. What am I talking about? Well, in this case, what I want us to start doing is stop thinking small. I want us to think bigger. I want us to scale up. And in order for us to do that, especially since we have such small numbers, in order for us to do that, we are going to have to think a little bit outside the box. So instead of you, the trainer, going to 50 different locations to gather more income for your institution, what if I told you there's a way for you to have 50 different locations come to you in a virtual sense? That's what I mean by scaling up. And so you're not spending a lot of time traveling or even making content over and over and over again. You do it once and it's done. The next thing that I like about virtual training is that it's a really great way for you to monetize your expertise. So if you have expertise in making hair and body products, if you have expertise in resume writing, maybe you have expertise in teaching science to preschoolers, I don't know, you can monetize this to your benefit. Another reason why I like virtual training is that I said it before, you can do it once and it's done for the most part, right? So the way that I like to do virtual training is in this fashion. So an online course or an e-learning module via video. I record this video once, you can replay it as many times as you want. That's much better than me having to repeat myself 50 million times in a face-to-face training to different groups of people. If you're doing something like a webinar, you can provide it once, record it, and then have the recording available for others. So you're not having to repeat the same webinar over and over again. Another reason why I like virtual training is because it offers flexibility and freedom in terms of your location. So you're not bound to be in Abu Dhabi, to be in the office, to be at a training center. You can make videos like this from the comfort of your home, and you also get some cost savings because you are not required to physically travel to different places. That cuts down on that money. And also because your learners won't be physically required to physically travel to meet you in a particular training center. They're all meeting you in the virtual sense. They too will be saving money. I also like virtual training because it's a way for us to build a legacy, not only for yourself, but also for this institution and this country. How wonderful to have these virtual resources to help people in the areas where they need it the most. Another reason why I like virtual training is because I like money, and virtual training can generate a consistent income if you do it properly. So in this case, you can offer different types of training for different types of learners and different styles, and you're not putting a lot of physical exertion on yourself to offer these trainings, but there's constantly generating more and more income. You can make your virtual training recurring. All right, so now let's get into the myths, the misconceptions of virtual training. The first one that I hear all the time, and tell me if you've heard it. Yeah, you've probably heard this one too. People say, I need to invest months and months and months and months to create the content. Have you heard that before? Yeah? You don't. Just don't do it. Because here's the thing. If we said in the previous slide that a lot of the reason why we want to do virtual training, let's face it, it's for profitability. I can speak, I promise. It's for profitability. We want to be able to generate some income. You don't make any money by building your virtual training offer. You know when you make the money? When you sell it. So you have to be finished building before you can sell? Not completely true. What I like to do is I like to, for example, I will create a virtual training offer, like a online course, and maybe the course has 5 different modules. So this right now, what you're in is module number 1. And what I do is I build the first one and then I sell it. Yeah. Because what if I spend all this time, months and months, creating content for 5 modules and I realize nobody wants it or nobody likes it or didn't, and then I've wasted my time. So you don't need to spend, and you should not spend months and months of time to create content. I'm going to show you a clear method where you can create the content and build your virtual training in a matter of 5 days. The thing that you need to let go of here is perfection. I know it's very difficult. So say it with me. I do not need to be perfect. One more time. I do not need to be perfect. You don't. It's a futile effort. Okay. So the thing here is that we are going to build imperfect but professional, snazzy, and engaging virtual training in a matter of 5 days. So imperfect is better than unfinished. Another myth that I've heard people say is they think they need to master fancy technology. No, you don't. You know how I'm doing this? I am using my laptop, I am using PowerPoint, and I am using a camcorder. Now, if I really wanted to be simple, I could really just use everything on my laptop and I could record myself giving this presentation with my, I'm pointing to my laptop now, but you can't see it, it's off screen, with my integrated webcam on my laptop. That's it. As far as really technical skills, I mean, that's advanced stuff, but if you make it really basic, it's great, okay? The idea here is that technology is just a tool. The point of delivering virtual training is to help build your learners' knowledge, their skills, their capacity to change their mindset and their beliefs and their behaviors. Technology can be a tool to help you do that. But you, the trainer, are the most important part. The way you curate and the way you use that technology is on to you, but it's that content and you as a trainer that's most important. So a great trainer beats out fancy technology any day. And the opposite, fancy technology is not going to save you if your content is horrible and you're a horrible trainer. All right, the next one I've heard is virtual training only works for certain type of learners. That is, you know, the tech savvy young millennial learners, or those learners who like the visual and the pizzazz. That's not true. I am pretty sure somewhere right now there is a baby boomer who is on a Udemy, Thinkific, or Coursera course having the time of their life and learning lots. Okay, so virtual training is for everyone. Another one that I've heard, which I think has some value, is that virtual training, most people don't like it because it feels impersonal. It doesn't have a social aspect like when you do face-to-face training. It feels like this cookie cutter stock way of doing training. And it can, when it's bad virtual training, but when it's good, when it's effective, virtual training can incorporate a lot of social aspects. So you could have discussion forums, you could have virtual training that includes live interaction, you can have virtual training that includes video conferencing. You can have whatever you think is going to help you deliver that content in the best way possible for the needs of your particular audience. And it doesn't have to be impersonal or unsocial. Another myth that I've heard is that, okay, fine. We have one spectrum where they say it's impersonal and unsocial, and the other one says, whoa, it's really interactive. Interactive, in fact, is always better. That's not true. There are some times, as we know, as trainers, there's sometimes where you just need to inform, okay? And in those situations, interactivity is actually distracting, okay? So interactive is not always better, but it does help depending on the content that you're delivering and the objectives that you have. And the final one that I have heard is that virtual training is more difficult for many people to manage than live or face-to-face training. That's valid, but I will say that it can be, but it doesn't have to be. It It doesn't have to be. So there are tools out there, there are learning management systems that can make your life easier. I'll show you how to use them and navigate them. Virtual training does not have to be difficult. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at this Maker's Manifesto that we're going to develop. So the first one says that we are going to stop trading our time for money. We are going to monetize our expertise. We're going to follow a do it once and it's done approach. And we're going to make virtual training in a way that both we as trainers and our learners, our clients, can achieve lifestyle and location freedom. You can learn from anywhere. I almost said virtually. We are also going to build a legacy of really rich resources that can be used not only in this city, in this country, but globally. And we're going to generate some income. When it comes to our beliefs, I want us to change our mindset. So the first one is I don't, okay? So think about it with me. I don't, and you don't, so we don't, need to invest a lot of time to create the content. We don't need to master fancy technology. We don't believe that virtual training only works for one type of learner because that's just not true. I don't want you to go from here believing that virtual training has to be this impersonal, unsocial thing that always has high levels of interactivity. Doesn't have to be. And I don't want you to believe that virtual training is difficult to manage or even more difficult to manage than face-to-face training. So what I do want you to do at this time is I want you to go ahead and download your first worksheet. It is a fillable PDF, so you can look at it. It's called the Maker's Manifesto. And I love this document because it has everything that we just discussed, the I wills, the I don'ts. It is a charge. So when you get discouraged or you hear the naysayers or things start to get difficult, go back and look at your Maker's Manifesto to recenter and get your mind right. I want you to look at it. I want you to fill out your name, sign and date it. And if you'd like, you could even keep that Maker's Manifesto as your screensaver. So you see it every time you go to your laptop and get to work. All right, that's it for this lesson. I'll see you in the next one.